In this video, we will discuss about potential energy. So what the potential energy is, it is a type of a mechanical energy. Now, potential energy is the energy possessed by an object by virtue of its position or the configuration. Okay, because of the position of the object or the configuration of the object, the energy possessed by it is known as what? Potential energy. So what is the basic definition of the potential energy? It is that the potential energy is the energy possessed by an object by virtue of its position or configuration or the change thereof. Hence, we will say potential energy is what? Possessed by an object virtue of its motion. Okay, moving ahead. So there are basically two kinds of potential energy. First is gravitational potential energy. Now, see, when you like lift a ball or when you raise a ball, okay, when you throw a ball to a height, okay, so what happens is it will move to some height, okay, after moving that height it will come to rest and then start falling down. Clear? So why it is so? Because it is having what? The gravitational potential energy. So gravitational potential energy is what it is? It is an object above the ground. Okay, this is the like gravitational potential energy of an object is called when this object is placed above the ground is defined as work done in raising from this ground. Okay, from the ground, whatever the energy is raised to this point, it is known as what? Gravitational potential energy. And the work done here is what? Against the gravity. Clear? Because gravity is acting downwards and it is moving upwards. Clear? Second is the elastic potential energy. So what you have to do is you have to take a that rubber, okay, this rubber band, and you have to stretch it. So after you are stretching, so you are changing what? Its configuration. You are changing either the shape or the size of that rubber, right? So it possesses some type of energy, and that is known as what? Potential energy. As you can see, when the spring of a toy car is wound using a key, the shape of the spring changes, and due to this change in shape, the toy car acquires elastic potential energy. Similarly, a stretched bow and an arrow and a stretched catapult, they are having what? Data, elastic potential energy. Now, we will express the gravitational potential energy. So, what are the expression here? So, we have to consider an object M. Okay, so we have taken this object to a certain height, which is h from the ground. So we done the work against the gravity. Now the weight of this object, this weight is mg is acting in the downward direction. So this is equals to what? Force. So we have force is equals to mg, right? Now what is the work done against the gravity? So work done is basically force multiplied by displacement of h is there. So force is what? Mg and h. Okay, so this is the work done, and this work done is basically equals to what? The potential energy. Hence we get the gravitational potential energy expression as potential energy equals to mgh. So we find that potential energy of an object may be expressed as the product of its mass, height, and the acceleration due to gravity. Moving ahead, now what we will say that the potential energy here, it is equals to what? Mgh. Clear? So the potential energy is directly proportional to the mass, potential energy is directly proportional to the height, and the gravity is constant, so we will not like give the relation here. So if the mass of the object doubled, potential energy will be doubled. If height will be doubled, the potential energy will be doubled. Okay, so greater the height, greater the potential energy, greater the mass, greater the potential energy. Okay, so what is the graphical representation? This is the graphical representation with respect to the mass and with respect to the height. Okay, here the height is constant, here the mass is constant. As you can see here, this is the direct proportion. I hope this topic is clear to you. Thank you.